Nous sommes heureux d'avoir aujourd'hui quelqu'un qui vient de loin, de Varsovie, en s'arrêtant à Paris, et qui retournera à Paris, où elle a la moitié de son cœur, une autre moitié étant à Toronto, la troisième moitié étant à Varsovie. Agata Tuszyńska nous donne un texte portant sur ce qui est arrivé non seulement pendant la guerre, mais après la guerre. And as a survivor testimony, we have the story not of one person, but an entire family from the war up to almost today. Holocaust survivors' testimonies tend to be very linear, very self-centered on one person, sometimes a couple of persons, very seldom in a larger group that is a complex family. Agata's text is a large text that encompasses not only the event, once again, from the war to today, but the very complex story of the one who survived, the one who hid what happened, the one who discovered what happened, and then in the stage of a large family where all the emotion and feelings are so diverse and going in so many directions. As the title itself says, there is a word fear, and indeed fear is the thread throughout the text and make this testimony such a complex and rich work. So, Agata, if you may join me.
Hi everyone. Je pense que je dois parler français ou peut-être je dois parler polonais ici. Dzień dobry. Wedle tego, co powiedział Alain, powinnam mówić jednocześnie w 3 językach. So, do you want me to switch to one of them? Thank you very much. I'm really happy and moved to be here this afternoon. I came all the way from Warsaw, from Poland. Isaac Bashevis Singer used to say that a writer needs to have an address. So for me, my address is Warsaw, Poland, and it's my language, Polish. I wrote all my books in Polish, although I think I can be intelligent in few other languages, par exemple, le français, and English. Thank you for this award, because now I know that the book I wrote is important, not only for me, but also for my Canadian friends and readers. This is amazing that finally I can share my experience, not only with my Polish readers and the French readers, but also with you. Let me read the beginning of the book so you can feel how it is written and what is it all about. This book has been in me for years, along with this secret. From the instant I found out I was not the one who I thought I was. From the moment my mother told me she was Jewish. I was born in Poland, in Warsaw, several years after the war. I had blue eyes and blonde hair, a source of a great pride to my mother, whose own eyes and hair were dark. Today, I realize she wanted a Polish child for fear of the fate her daughter might inherit otherwise, a fate like her own. And even though the war was officially part of the past, in a new socialist Poland, where everyone was equal by definition, she resolved to obscure her origins. We are our memory. We are what we remember and what others remember about us. Even more than that, I often find myself thinking we are our lapses of memory. We are what we forget, what in self defense we blot out of our memory, chase from our consciousness, avoid in our thinking. We conceal memories to make life easier or lighter so it will not hurt. I do not remember when my mother told me she was Jewish. I remember nothing about it, not the day, not the season, nor the place, not whether we were sitting at the table or by the window, not the tone of her voice, nor the color of her words. I have no memory of any such conversation. Maybe she told me she had hid in a cellar during the war. It was not unusual. Many Poles were forced to hide in cellars and attics. Or maybe she said she had to run away from the Germans, escape, like many other Poles who were hunted down by Nazis, rounded up at work, machine gunned in the streets and forests, sent to the camps. She does not remember exactly how she went about it, but she certainly did not begin with the persecution and the walls, the marks, the distinguishing insignia of the yellow star. She began by telling me stories about the curtain at first, then about the chinchilla coat and the muff, then about the couch in front of the ghetto wall. Nothing more direct, little by little, to make it easier. She wanted her child to be without a stigma. She was happy to have brought a little blue-eyed blonde into the world. This little girl has a proper Polish father. She taught me how to live in this country. She didn't want me to weigh me down with the burden heavier that I could bear. She didn't want her child to have to grow up with a feeling of injustice or fear. In her estimation, one could always broach the subject when a child was capable of handling it and taking care of herself. She's not sure, she told me when I was 19. I have no reason not to believe her. Every family has a story. Many Polish families have tragic ones. In those days, people did not always tell children about their hardships during the war, the resistance, the home army, participation in the uprisings in Warsaw, and fighting in the forests. It took them years to start talking about what they had been through, about the pain as much as the heroism. These stories, when they finally came out through the generations together, and gave them strength. But my mother's experience was not like that. It was more, much more. Not only in the depth of the suffering and tragedy, but also in their consequences. There was nothing in it to brag about or cling to, nothing to wear out by retelling. There were no heroic death, no patriotic examples, no secret traditions, no hope for the future. It had to be concealed, this thing. Years passed before I found the strength to admit it, before my spirit abandoned its defenses and took it in. I needed time, without accepting it, to be sure, but still inwardly waiting the possibility. It took about 10 years. Has it happened? Can I say I'm Jewish? Thank you very much. And I just wanted to say one more sentence. I wanted to dedicate this award to my mother, once a little girl in the Warsaw Ghetto. Today, an elderly lady of 85 in Warsaw, who just started to have a very bad dreams about the war and a ghetto. So I don't know if a family history of fear is over.